Hey guys, in this video, we will create a simple application using React. In this application, we will have three pages. The first will be home page with some detail, some information. Second will be about, and the third page will be user. So in user page, we will have one form. In that form, we will have one username field, an email field, and text area called about. And once users start submitting that form, we will show that detail in the listing. So we will use various Node.js and React, let's say, packages, and we will also use Bulma as a front end designing. So I will not go into detail with Bulma because it is a front end tool. You can use Bootstrap or you can start using your own CSS as well, but I will use Bulma for simplicity. Okay. Also, we will see navigation, and we will also see how the one page application works in React.js. Okay. So let's start creating our application. So to get start, we will use React Node.js. You can say package React create React app. Okay. So this is very useful package that you can use to start your application. So it contains a very basic ready-made, you can say, uh, ready-made code that you can start creating your application using React. Okay, so let's start. First of all, let's go to npx. Please make sure you have Node.js installed in your system. Okay, so let's go to your command prompt on whichever folder you want to go. Okay, and here you need to add a name, so you can give React test. Okay, and it will take some time to install this application on your system. Okay, so it might take some time. Let's wait for that time, and till that time I will show how this create React app works. So if you start using this create React app, it will have inbuilt server. You can say you can easily start developing React application. Okay, you just need to install this app, React node package, and you will have similar kind of folder structure. Okay, so we will have this package.json public folder, which are having the files index.html and other images, and this is our main source code, and app.js, index.js, and other files are there. So index.js is our main entry point. Okay, and app.js is one of our component. So we can create multiple component, and we can start developing our React application. Okay, so you can see once you start using npm start command, you can run your application on localhost 3000 port. Okay, in the browser. So it is very easy to start, and there are multiple reasons that you should use when you start learning React. Okay, so you don't need any extra configuration. Only one dependency is there, and there are multiple uh, single page application available, like React JSX is already there, ES6 functions are available. You can use TypeScript as well. Okay, and there are multiple packages also available inbuilt in this application. Okay, so it might take few more minutes, but once we are done, we can start. Okay, so let me open this React test in our Visual Studio Code. Okay, so let me add this folder. Yeah, we are almost done. So we will also use Bulma. So if you have not used this Bulma, it is similar to Bootstrap, but it is new in the market. Not that much new, but yeah, you can say it is still in. Uh, it is still gaining the popularity. So this is very nice. You can also use Boosted, but I like Bulma, so I started using that. Okay, so once you are done with this application, yeah, it is done. So let me simply refresh, and now we need to go to our React page folder, and as you can see here, you can start your application using npm. Okay, it will open your localhost and using 3000 port. Okay, so let's give it a try. It should open in a while. Okay, so meanwhile, what we can do, we can go to public index.html. So this is our main html file which is loading here. Okay, so you can see there are html head and few meta tags. We have css, that manifest.json, here title, which you can see on the browser. Okay, this is the title react app. So you can change my first react app. Okay, and you can see this is updating. Okay, so this is a very basic setup you can use to start creating your application. And as you can see, this du id is equal to root is our entry point. Okay, so if you go to source folder, this is our main code, and here the entry point is index.js. Okay, and you can see here some imports are there, react from react dom. Those are the uh, required libraries that you need to start developing the application. Okay, and here you can see strict mode and the application which we are using as a first component. We are importing this application, and to use this application component we are importing here app from app. Okay, so this is our entry point. And when you go to this app.js, you can see learn react easily, and you can see this is updating. Okay, so this is very basic structure, and once you are familiar with this, you can easily get idea at how react works. Okay, so first of all, we will start creating our home page. Okay, so to do so, what we will do, first of all, we will create one navigation. Okay, so to do that, we will create one more component, and for that we will create one folder. Let's say components. You can write down or you can create those files in source folder directly as well, but I prefer to create components folder. In that folder, you can create one file, navigation.js. Okay, and to create your functional component, so there are two ways that you can create components. The first one is using class, ES6 JavaScript class, or function. So in this video, I will create all components using function. Okay, so to create a function, we have one shortcut like RCEP. Okay, so what actually it does, it is creating so it is creating class based, just a minute, create function based component. So to do, we can use this. Let me again show. Let me show you again. RFCE. So React Functional Component with Export. Okay. So you can see this is the navigation component we created. There are some text, and it is exporting this function as a default value. Okay. So to use this navigation, go to application app.js, and here you can import navigation, click enter, and you can see it will automatically import this navigation component from components navigation. So you don't need to import manually. It will automatically import when you start importing this navigation component. Okay, so let's see how it looks on our page. So you can see the navigation component is rendering. Okay, all right, so let's go to Bulma And in elements we will have, not elements, in components we will have one navigation component. Yeah, navbar. Okay, so we will simply copy and paste this, copy and paste this here. Okay, but before importing this navbar we need to make sure that the class should be replaced by class name. So let me show you. So here you can see one error is there. It is showing JSX element img has no corresponding closing tag. Okay, this is very simple. You just need to close this image tag. Similarly, you might have hr, yeah, and you need to close. So there are no errors. Okay, so let's go to Bulma. Okay, it will not work because we haven't imported this Bulma yet. Okay, so to do that, what we can do, we can go to this page and not copy. We can simply copy this link and go to our public folder index.html, and here after this link we can import this bulma.min.css. Okay, and it should be fine. So you can see we have now our navigation ready. So you can see we will have the mobile navigation as well. Okay, but this hamburger will not work because it required JavaScript. We will add that JavaScript as well. Okay, but if you check the console we will have some error because we can't use class in HTML because class is a reserved word and we need to replace that class with class name. Okay, so control H, class name is equal to, and replace all. So once it is done, reload and you are good. Okay, there is no error now. Okay, so this is done, and let's go to navigation.js, and here we have multiple class. So let's go to Bulma and the new bar. So we have multiple options like this dark. We will also have one class like this, and you can add one class here is black, and you can see now this is black. Okay, so for that we need a new image. The image source will be like, let me open this image in a new tab. Okay, and we can replace this image in source. So once we replace, you can see now we have this white logo. Okay, we can remove simply this additional navbar. We don't need it for our application. Okay, also we can remove this because we don't need that kind of drop down in our menu yet. Okay, so now we have home documentation. Okay, so to make it easy we can keep, let me just remove some spaces. So here we can use about, and copy this enter type, and the last will be users. Okay, we will create separate component for all these pages. Okay, so this is very simple new bar we created using Bulma. Okay, so to fix our, let me show you. So you can write down some JavaScript, like, let me show you. When you go to new bar you can see to make work this toggle button you need to add this JavaScript here. Okay, so to do that what we can do in navigation.js file, here, yeah, let's add one use state. Okay, and we can write down is active variable. Okay, and this set is active will create a separate function. Okay, we need to add that function. We'll show you how actually this works. Okay, and the default value will be false. Okay, so to use this use state, we need to import that use state from React. And let me see what actually is not working. Yeah, so we need to add here. Okay, so we have using array destructuring, we have created two variables. Is active, the default is active value will be false, and this is function which will update this is active variable value. Okay, so when you click on this here, the anchor tag, okay, we need one function on click, click, and let's say we can give the function name is handle click. We can give handle hamburger click. Okay, so we have added that function on the anchor tag, and here we need to define this function using arrow function. Here it's arrow function. Okay, here what we can do, we can use this isActive function to update the isActive variable. Okay, so if isActive class is already there, then it will remove, else it will add. Okay, so this is a very simple set active function. Okay, and once you click on this hamburger, let me show you how actually it works. So when you click here, let me add console.log click. Okay, and when you click here, it will call this function. Okay, and it will change the value to is active. The default value is, let me again console.log, the default value is false. Okay, so whenever you click, it will set as false. Again it will set as true. Okay, so this is the main reason we are using it. Okay, in HTML, when you use this function or a variable, what you have to do, you have to use this variable as argument, as a just a minute. Yeah, to use that you need JavaScript expression. Okay? And do that, what actually you have to write. So here id is fine, and in class name you have to write down JavaScript expression using curly braces. Okay, so starting of the curly braces, end of the curly braces, and here you can write down the expression like is active. So if like this, if is active, then what we have to do, we have to add one class is active, else nothing. So we need to make sure that syntax is correct. Okay, so we need to remove this and add this at the end. Okay, so let me just confirm this curly braces, new bar menu, and okay, is active, is active. We need space here, and yeah, I think we need here. Okay, so this is correct. So right now you can see this neighbor basic example. Let's go to element, and here we don't have any class, is active class. Okay, so once you click, it will add this is active class. Let me show you. Okay, this is anchor tag, and let me reload again. So here you can see this neighbor basic example don't have any other class other than neighbor menu. So when you click on this hamburger, it will add it is active, and it will show this mobile menu. When you click it again, it will close, as it will remove this menu. Okay, so using this simple JavaScript, you can add this hamburger menu as well. Okay, all right. So now we have home, and for that, what we can do, we can insert, or let's create one more component. Let's give the name is home.js. Okay, so React function component export. Okay, so this is home component, and let's import this here just after navigation. Home, let me add it again, so it will automatically import. Now you can see this home is already imported, and this is also fine, but it is showing error because in React you cannot create multiple, you cannot call or import, or you can say render multiple components without outer component. So you can say it is React fragment. So to make sure you are using multiple components, you need to write down like React dot fragment. Okay, but you can also use this similar syntax, or you can say alternate syntax. Okay, so you can see now on home page we can see this home component is rendering. Okay, we are not working on home component in this video, we will work on some other day, but this is to show that home component is working. Okay, so the next is about. Okay, so to make sure that about component is working, let's create about.js. Okay, create function component export, and let's import about, and let's go to about, and you can see about is fine, but you can see the here when you go to about, it is not updating the component, right? To make sure this is working, we need to use one, you can say React package. The name is React router DOM. Okay, so React, there are multiple packages, but you can use, this is very popular one, and you can use easily. Okay, so to make sure it is working, first of all we need to install using npx. No, it will create React app. Just a minute. uh, it should be there, create installation. Yeah, so we can npm install, the name of the package is, what is the name, React router now. It will take a few minutes. Okay, it is done. So now again you can start server. Okay, so let's go to its documentation. First of all, we need to import this package from package. So to make sure, let me remove this. We are not using logo. So in app.js, simply import that, and here what we can do, here we have to follow the documentation. So first of all, we will import here in app.js, we will import router. So you need to make sure that you are wrapping everything under the router. Okay, so this is router. In router, this is our menu, and make sure that you are using switch. So you can simply give, let me show you in the router. Yeah, it should be in the router. Yeah, using router. So you can use router here. For about, this is fine. For users, this is also fine, and for home, so let me change the space. Okay, so what exactly it says, when you are using your switch. Okay, so you can say, let's see how it works. So it is showing that switch it was not found. Yes, because this is how this switch is imported. Okay, but there is one problem with this component, or you can say this React router. Okay, so in documentation it is showing that you need to use switch, but in this latest version, you can say the version 5, you need to use route. So how actually it will be, it will be like, let me show you here. Instead of switches, you need to use routers. Okay, not routers, routes. Okay, and in routes you will have, let me import that. And in routes you will have multiple route. So this is for home page. Let me just control X. So we will delete this. So this is for home. Okay, this is for about, and this is for users. So right now we don't have users, so we will simply comment it out, and let's see. So it might show some errors. Let's go to console, and home is not a router component. Yeah, because in route you have to use exit. Okay, exit path is equal to your path, and same as above. Still it is showing the error, home is not. Okay, so why it is not showing? Because route exit path. Okay, and yeah, to make sure that this is working as per this documentation, we have to use like something like this. Okay, here you can import your component like this, but it is not working like this because of this change in this React router DOM. So to fix this, what you have to do, in route, instead of using separate import of this component, what you can do, you can use element as a value, and in element you need to pass a specific component. Okay, so let's see how it works. You can see now home works fine. Okay, on home, uh, let me show you. Yeah, so for home it is working. For this you also need element is equal to this component. Let's see. So when you are on home page, okay, and when you go to about, right now it won't work because we haven't linked that yet. Okay, so let me show you how this link works. Okay, so go to navigation.js, and here wherever you are using anchor tag, instead of href we need to use 2. Okay, so this is example. Yeah, we need to use 2, and here, to make sure it will be redirect to home page, we need to use slash. Okay, similarly on home page we will have anchor tag, and 2 is equal to slash. On about we will have like slash about, and users will have slash users. Now let's see, this is home. And about, let's see why it is not working. Okay, now this is about and users. Okay, so it should work, but it is not working. What's the problem? Let me close this out. Route is also fine. And let me remove the comments. And element is equal to, so exit as well. So now it should work. Router and okay. So navigation, then routes, route, exit, path. Okay, this is also fine. Element and route. Yeah, it seems fine to me. Routes and route. And here in navigation.js, yeah, this is also fine. Anchor tag, yeah. So here you can say instead of anchor tag, what we have to do, we have to use link. Okay, so wherever you are creating anchor tag, you have to use link. You can see it will automatically create here, and here anchor tag. Okay, to make sure that anchor tag works fine, you need to import this, and let me remove this link and import that without link. So let's see. Just not defined because we haven't created component for users. Let's go and create users.js and create function component with export, and yeah, now we should see this. Okay, it's still showing that on app.js users is not found because we haven't, yeah, we haven't imported it. So users from users, it will be fine. Okay. So now this is home page about users. So you can see now page is not reloading, right? So let me show you why. Because on navigation, if we use anchor tag instead of link, then when you click on this, it will reload the page. Okay, it is not reloading, it might be some error, but you need to use link to make sure that page will not reload. So you can say the page is loading very good, it's working as expected, right? So this is fine. Okay, so router is working fine, and home page we are not working right now. On about page, let's go to some other component. Let's say we are going to panel, and there are multiple things you can use, or you can go to some card, and this is also fine. You can, okay, let's skip this. We are not doing anything with about. Let's go to users page and start creating our form. Okay, so for that, go to form, and in general, you can copy this simple form here. Okay, this is fine. Copy, go to users, and in users, you can simply copy this function. Okay, but you also need fragment, react fragment, so you can use multiple HTML. Okay, so now there are few errors like import here, and let me remove this, we don't need right now, we will copy and paste if we want more fields. So name, email ID is also fine, let's keep it. Okay, let's remove this pen, we don't need any fancy HTML right now. Let's remove this drop down, text area is fine, and we don't need checkbox for now. Okay. And we also don't need this, also we don't need cancel button. Okay, So here let's change class is equal to class name. So this is how our form looks. Okay, to make sure our form looks fine, let's add section. Class name is equal to section and wrap everything in this section. Okay, so we can see our form in uniform manner. We can also see some spacing. Yeah, you can see some spacing, right? Also, you can add div class here and let's keep it here. So you can see now form looks fine. Okay. So to make sure you want to use multiple kind of forms, you can also control CSS. Like let me show you how columns. Okay. So what you can do in container, you can add div class name is equal to columns. In columns, you can use multiple column. Okay, class name is equal to column and add everything in this specific column. Okay, you can use multiple columns as well. We have only one column right now. Okay, so this is how it looks. And to make sure we are using a small form, what we can do in column, you can give a class name, say is half, then it will be divided in half. Okay, and to make sure we need to make it in central line. What we can do, there are some classes. Let's see. Yeah, we have one class here. um, let's see where it is. Yeah, we can give is offset 1/4 and it will be central line. So now this is central line. Okay, let's remove this p tag. We don't need validation right now. We are not doing any kind of validation, client side validation. We will do that later on. Okay, let's remove this icon. Also, this is fine. This looks fine. Okay, and in email is danger. We don't need this. And let's add type is equal to text. We can keep email as well, but let's keep it text for now. Okay. Okay, so first of all we will use username. Username, type the username, and let's take name is equal to username. Okay. Second, email is fine, name is equal to email, and third one is about, name also about. Okay, so now we have username, email, and about. Okay, so now we are not using form. We have simple HTML using multiple elements. We are not using form. So how we will submit this form? To submit that form, we will use on handle submit, or you can say on click event. Okay, so here you can use on click event and handle click form. We will create a function to hand submit this form. Okay, so here what we can do, here we can create this function handle click form using arrow function. And let's say click. Okay, and we need to make sure that e dot prevent default. I don't think we need e dot prevent default, but yeah, let's see. So inspect console. Okay, we have, yeah, on change handle. We will see that why we need on change. So refresh. click on submit, and you can see this submit handler is working. Okay, so to make sure that we can edit this field right now, when you try to edit, it is working, but when you submit this form, you need to make sure that we will change this value to given value. Okay, so to do that, what we need on change on all the input fields. Okay, on change and handle on change is a function. So let me call this function three times. All right, and let's create this function constant handle on change is equal to this function. Okay, so this is on change handling event, right? And yeah, now this error should be gone. So this is the basic setup of form. All right, so now we need to submit this form using this handle click event, on click event, and uh, we will set this value like email, username, and about. Okay, and using state, the react state, we will set the values. Okay, so to do that, let's add some you can say the list of the users. Okay, so okay, let's go to here Bulma, and here let's go to components table. Okay, we have one table component here. Here, what we can do, we can simply copy this table, and again section, we will have section class equal to section. So we can create separate component for listing as well, but for simplicity, right now we will create all this content in single file on all these component. Okay, so this is how it looks. Tr, let me remove all the tr, we will add tr later. Okay, so we are good now. Yeah, okay. Now we need only 3 td, so let's keep 3 td on th, that is fine. Now again, let's keep it 3th, is table heading. Similarly, we have 3th. Okay. Let's change this class to class name. I need some Nestor. Yeah, class is equal to class name. So it should be fine. And okay, now it is left aligned because we need to make sure it should be in center. Okay, do that. We again need this column. Okay, div, and we close this div two times. Okay, should be fine. Okay, so now we have three columns. Okay, so instead of this pose, we can have number. We don't need footer right now. Let's keep it number. The second will is username. Let me change it. Okay, this is email. Okay. And the last one is about. So let's change it to 4 TD. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, this looks fine. All right. So what we will do, when you user add some content here and simply submit, it will show this. It will show these details to this table. Okay. So let's start creating JavaScript for that. Okay. So first of all, we have added on change on email as well. Okay. Value is nothing. The name is there. Okay. We also need to add value is equal to something. Okay, we will see how value will be there. Okay, so if you see, when I try to add some username text input, we are not able to do that. Okay, this is fine in about, but in username and email we can't. It is working in here because we haven't add value parameter or value attribute yet. So once we add, we are also not able to edit. So to fix this, what we have to do? Okay, before that, we can start writing our code here. So first of all, we will create one variable initial user. Okay, and we will take one array. And in array, we will use e as username. Let's say value jack. Okay, email value is jack is equal to test.com. Okay, and about the third value, we can use this is check. So we will have initial user, and we will show this initial user here. Okay, to do that, first of all we need to use state hook. Okay, so we will use array structuring. The value will be user, and okay, use state snippet. We can use, okay, user and set user with the function, and use state value will be initial value. So the initial value will be like username empty, uh, email empty, and about value will also be empty. Okay, so this is user initial value. Okay, so we also need one state for list, which we will use to list down all the users. Okay, and here we will use initial user value. Okay, so we can simply keep it here. All right, so what we have done, we are using one list variable, and initial value will be this user. Okay, we will remove this later, and using set list function we will update this user list. Okay, so in handle on change event, what we can do, we can simply use set user function. This set user function. Okay, here what we can pass, we can simply use spread operator user whatever value we have in user variable, and the second variable we will use e, that is our on change event handler, e dot target dot name. It will select the specific element, and the value will be e dot target dot value. Okay, so once you do this, you will be able to change. Let me use that use state is not defined, yeah, because we need to import that. Can we forget? Okay, now it is fine. Okay, so you can see now, you can't change it yet because you have to set this value here. So let's go to, okay, let me uh, go to view and word wrap. Okay, so now in value you can pass user dot user name, and let's see. I think you can add this username value. Okay, similarly here in email you need to use user dot email, and in here, yeah, in text area you need to use user dot about. So now you can edit all the text fields. Email is still not working. No, it is working. Okay. About is not working because the value text area name is about. It should be about, not capital about. Now, yeah, this is working. Okay. So this is how we need to change this handle on-chain event. Okay, so when users start writing something in this text box, you need to make sure that in on-chain event you use this spread operator to make sure that whatever value we are passing into this specific input field, we are getting its value and setting it as a set user function. Okay, so we are setting all this value in this state variable called user and passing it to specific input field. Okay, so this is fine, this is working. Okay, the next is handle click form. Okay, so here what we can do, let me add here. So first of all we need to check if user dot username dot length is greater than 0, and let me copy and paste again, and email dot length is greater than 0, we are doing validation. Okay, else what we can do, we can give alert. So this is not fancy, but it is fine for now. Please make sure to enter details. Okay, so we will use here. So let's refresh and click on the submit. So you can see, as we are not using any input values, we can see this pop up. Okay, so if we have input length, I mean username and email entered by user, what we can do, we can create a new list. And how we can use, we will use new list is equal to, we need to use concat function. So we have this list variable, list dot concat. Okay, and in that concat we need to pass our object. So object will be username, and the value will be user dot username. Okay, the second value will be email, email dot user dot email, and the third value will be about, user dot about. Okay, so we have now new list. Will concat the current list which is here, this one, and it will concat whatever data is entering in the form. Okay, so now we have this new list, and using this set list function, what we can do, we can simply pass this new list variable into this set list function. Okay, now let's see how it works. So currently you can see there is no initial user entered here. Why? Because we are not passing this list variable here. So what we are doing, we are simply using this trtd. Okay, to make sure it works, what we can do, we can simply use loop. Okay, and how this loop will work in tr. we will use JavaScript expression list dot map, that is JavaScript function. In map we have user. Okay, no, we don't need to. Okay, we have user, and there is something wrong. Yeah, we have user and yeah, this looks fine. Okay, yeah. So what we can do, we can simply return this table. Return th. This will be just a minute. That should be I. The second argument will be I. So list dot map. In map we will have single user I, and yeah, it should be fine. And here we will not have multiple. Okay, this is fine. But yeah, we will do that. So here what we can do, we can use I plus 1. Okay, here you can use user dot username, and here you can use user dot email, and similarly you can use user dot about. Okay, so now there is something wrong with this syntax. So list, this is fine, the list variable is fine. Yeah, list dot map, it will look through all the list variables. The user, let me remove this for now. Okay, so using map function we can do user, and in, let's see the syntax of map function, JavaScript, and yeah. So we will have one example. Yeah, this is the example we can use. So what we can do, list dot map, we will have two brackets. Okay, and yeah, we don't need this bracket. And yeah, be fine. So we still need this bracket. Hmm, I'm still missing something here. See, okay, we are using multiple brackets, so we might need use. We might need this. Okay, so let me go to GitHub. I already have this code. Yeah, see users.js. Where is the file? In the components, we have users users.js. Okay, so how we are using this? Yeah, we are simply taking this. Okay, yeah, let me just copy this. Okay, and that should be So now list dot map. Okay, I was missing this. Yeah. So as you can see now, yeah, td td, and one more tr is there. So we don't need this tr. This tr, and we are good. Yeah. Now you can see we have this initial user here. Okay. Yeah. So to make sure it works fine, what we can do, we can simply copy this, and what wrong we did, we can change it. Username yeah, and up this is yeah. Okay. We need it here. Yeah. So let's see. Let's see. Now we have two records. Okay. So this is initial variable. So make sure that in this function we are adding this list to new list. Okay, so now I'm adding one variable value joy is equal to gmail.com. This is joy. Okay, and submit. And see now our value is there. So once you reload, it will not be there because we are not inserting these values in any uh, database or any local variable. So it will be fine. So to make sure it works fine, let's delete this initial value. Okay, and initial value is not there, so we don't have any values here. Okay, and if you don't have anything, what we can do, we can simply add one tr, and we are good. If list dot length is equal to 0, then no users. Okay, so right now we don't have any users, and let's add love at the rate gmail.com. This is love. Okay, submit. So it's fine, but this form should be empty once we submit. Okay, so to make sure it works fine, what we can do, we can simply use this set user, right? Set user, and in that set user, what we can pass, we can simply pass this value. Okay, we can simply pass this value as an empty string. So when the page will reload, it will simply empty. This is still empty this form, and this works fine. Okay, joy at the rate gmail.com. This is joy. So when you reload, it will be empty because we are not adding these values in any table or database. So this works fine. About is fine, home, users, and this is how this React works. Okay, so this is very basic React application that you can use, and if you go to mobile, it will also work fine. Let's go to mobile and see how it works. So let's go to mobile. That's simply yeah. So in responsive, there is design game, no issue. Laugh, laugh at the rate on this test. Then this works fine. Okay, so using state, you can change the state variables. Using initial user will be there. If you want to add few users, you can also add. Using this handle click form event, you can update your list and you will be fine. Okay, so guys, that was very simple React application you can use. If you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe to my channel If you have any question or any suggestions, you can leave your comments below, and see you next time around. Thank you.